Stand up. You probably did the first time. Almost everyone did. You stood up in your own living room in front of the television with a small white controller in your hand, and you swung your arm like you were holding a tennis racket. And on the screen, a little character swung at the exact same moment. You were not pressing a button to make it happen. You were doing it. Your actual arm, your actual shoulder, your actual living room, where 5 minutes ago nobody had been standing at all. This was the Nintendo Wii. And for a few years in the late 2000s, it turned tens of millions of living rooms into tennis courts, bowling alleys, and boxing rings. Most people don't remember the day they stopped playing it. The Wii didn't break. It didn't die. It just ended up in a drawer under the TV with the controllers and the little wrist straps wrapped around them, and one day you realized you hadn't turned it on in 3 years. Let's go back to what it actually felt like. It is Christmas morning, sometime around 2007 or 2008. There is a white box under the tree, and it is the box. The one that was sold out everywhere for months. The one your parents drove to 3 different stores to find. You tear it open. Inside is a console smaller than you expected. Slim, white, the size of a few DVD cases stacked together, and 2 controllers that look like television remotes, not game controllers. That was the first surprise. The Wii controller did not look like a video game controller. It looked like something you would use to change the channel. One hand, a few buttons, a strap to go around your wrist so you didn't throw it across the room, which people did anyway. You plugged it in. You attached a small sensor bar above or below the television. And then the whole family, not just the kids, the whole family, stood up and played a game of bowling. That was the second surprise. Your mom played. Your grandmother played. People who had never touched a video game in their lives picked up that white remote and bowled a strike and then turned around with a look on their face like they had just discovered something. Here is a number that shows how big this got. The Nintendo Wii sold over 101 million units worldwide. It outsold every console Microsoft and Sony made in its generation. It outsold the PlayStation 3. It outsold the Xbox 360. A little white box with a remote control controller beat the most powerful gaming machines on the market. And it wasn't close for most of that run. And here is the spec that made engineers laugh at the time. The Wii was technically much weaker than its competitors. It could not produce the high-definition graphics the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were built around. It ran games at a lower resolution. On paper, by every measure the industry used to rank consoles, the Wii should have lost. It won anyway, because Nintendo had figured out something the others had not. People did not want a better picture. They wanted to stand up. The game that came in the box was called Wii Sports. It was not sold separately at first. It just came bundled with the console, almost as an afterthought. 5 simple games: tennis, bowling, baseball, golf, boxing. Wii Sports went on to become one of the best-selling video games of all time, with over 80 million copies in the world, and almost every single one of them got there by being packed in the box with the console. Nobody chose Wii Sports. Everybody played Wii Sports. The rituals were specific. You learned that the sensor bar had to be lined up right or the cursor would drift. You learned to put the wrist strap on, because the very first week the Wii existed, the internet filled up with photos of televisions with controller-shaped holes punched through the screen. People had swung too hard, the remote had flown out of their sweaty hands, and a $400 television had paid the price. You learned the little electronic bing the console made when it turned on. You learned the soft blue glow of the disc slot in a dark room. You learned the me, the little cartoon version of yourself you built, with the face and the hair and the tiny body, that would show up in the crowd during your tennis match, cheering. And you learned that after about 20 minutes of real Wii Sports boxing, you were genuinely, actually tired, out of breath, sweating, because you had been throwing real punches into the air of your living room for 20 minutes straight. People bought the Wii to lose weight. There were news segments about it. Doctors talked about it. For a brief moment, the most powerful exercise trend in the country was a video game. The whole thing came from a company that had been making playing cards since 1889. Nintendo started in Kyoto, Japan, making hand-painted playing cards. It had been around for over 100 years before it ever made a video game, and by the early 2000s, Nintendo was in trouble. The GameCube, its previous console, had been crushed by Sony's PlayStation 2. Nintendo was being written off. The story in the press was that Nintendo could not compete on power, and power was the whole game. So Nintendo stopped trying to compete on power. A team led by a designer named Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo's president at the time, Satoru Iwata, made a decision that sounded insane inside the industry. They would not build the most powerful console. They would build the one anybody could pick up, the one your grandmother could play, the one that got people off the couch. They called the project Revolution while they were building it. When it launched in November of 2006, they called it the Wii. Two lowercase e's meant to look like two people standing side by side. People mocked the name. People mocked the graphics. People mocked the remote. And then everyone bought one. For 2 years, you could not find a Wii in stores. They sold out at launch and stayed sold out through 2 consecutive Christmases. Scalpers sold them for double the price. Parents called stores at 6 in the morning to ask if a shipment had come in. It was the must-have object in the English-speaking world. In the United States, in Britain, in Canada, in Australia. Everyone wanted the white box. So, what happened? The decline of the Wii is not a story about a better machine coming along. It is a story about a moment passing. The thing that made the Wii a phenomenon, the novelty of standing up and swinging your arm, was also the thing that wore off. The motion controls were magic the first 10 times. By the 100th time, a lot of people noticed that the swinging was not quite as precise as it felt. That your tennis swing did not always go where you aimed. That a flick of the wrist worked just as well as a full swing. And so the full swing, the part that made it feel real, quietly stopped happening. The Wii became a thing you played hard for a few months and then less and less. The controllers went in the drawer. The wrist straps stayed wrapped around them. And then Nintendo made the mistake that ended the run. In 2012, Nintendo released the follow-up console. They called it the Wii U, and almost nobody understood what it was. The name made it sound like an accessory for the old Wii, not a new machine. The marketing was confusing. People who had loved the Wii did not realize the Wii U was a different console at all. The Wii U sold around 13 million units, compared to the Wii's 101 million. It was one of the biggest commercial failures in Nintendo's history. The company that had sold a console to grandmothers could not explain its next console to its own fans. By then, something else had happened too. The smartphone had arrived. Casual gaming, the exact audience the Wii had pulled in, the people who did not consider themselves gamers, moved to the phone in their pocket. The grandmother who once bowled on the Wii was now playing a match 3 game on her iPad. She did not need to stand up anymore. The Wii had opened the door to 100 million casual players, and the smartphone walked through it and took them. This was never really just about a video game console. It was about the white box under the tree that your parents drove across town to find. About the wrist strap you were supposed to wear and sometimes didn't. About the controller-shaped hole in your cousin's television that became a family legend. It was about your mom bowling a strike and turning around with her arms in the air. About your grandfather who had never played a video game in 80 years, picking up the remote and laughing. About the whole family standing up in the living room together at the same time, looking at the same screen, swinging at the same invisible ball. That is the part that quietly disappeared. Not the console. The console is in a drawer somewhere, and it still works if you plug it in. What disappeared was the living room with everyone standing up in it. Video games did not get worse. They got faster, sharper, more powerful, more impressive in every measurable way. But most of them went back to one person, sitting down, holding a controller with 2 hands, headset on, playing alone. For a few years, a weak little white box got an entire family to stand up off the couch and play together in the same room. And if you ever stood in your own living room, and put the strap around your wrist and swung your arm at nothing and watched a little version of yourself swing at the exact same moment, you remember something that was once completely ordinary and now is gone. If you ever had a Wii, we want to hear about it. What was the first game you played? Did anyone in your family put a controller through the television? And be honest, is your Wii still in a drawer somewhere right now? Leave it in the comments. Every single one gets read. And if this kind of storytelling means something to you, please like this video and subscribe. It's how we keep making these. We'll see you in the next one.